afternoon, Coimbatore. I said good afternoon. Yeah. So, respected chairman for the session, Mr. Prasad, fellow speakers, and all my dear friends. I am Kalyan Gaur from Hyderabad, doing my articleship at Bangalore. So, I am here to give my views on due diligence. So, before that, let me know how many people have an idea, just an idea of due diligence. Please raise your hands. Just an idea. Yeah, I find some hands in the corner. Fine, no issues. I will tell you what due diligence is. So whenever we hear the due diligence term, something pop-ups in our mind. But we still know unknown that what is that thing pop up in our mind. Right? Yes? So, we hear the due diligence term wherever we find investment, wherever we find investigation, and evaluation of business opportunity. So I would like to play a video so that to understand what due diligence is.
Hello, Maybe. Can I explain any legal concepts?
Professor Siegfried, just what is due diligence?
Well, maybe. Due diligence is a term used for a number of concepts involving either an investigation of a business or a person prior to signing a contract, or an act with a certain standard of care. It can be a legal obligation, but the term will more commonly apply to voluntary investigations. A common example of due diligence in various industries is the process through which a potential acquirer evaluates a target company or its assets for acquisition.
Thanks, Professor, for explaining due diligence.
So people understood what is due diligence? No,
Hello,
right?
Maybe. Can I explain any legal concepts?
Professor Siegfried, just what is due diligence?
Well, maybe.
So let me take back to 2008. It was a boom for software. Satyam is known for his software, right? So there was a big choice. What will be the future of Satyam after the scandal? So many people, many investors who were scared to invest in Satyam, they don't have any clear-cut image on the financial positions of Satyam. So let us see now. Assume you are the CFO of Mahindra Group. So you want to invest in Satyam. So would you like to go directly and invest in Satyam? Yes or no? No, right? We undergo some process to understand how the process has to be done. It all explains in due diligence. Due diligence the process, we see the financial analysis and how the investment and what price they are going to invest and all we are going to discuss in the due diligence. And another new thing is, so we have learned in CPD, right? Keyword enter. So what does it mean? Let the buyer beware. So we have to be very cautious. You have to be very careful while giving investment. We cannot go blindly and give investment and come back. It is our worth. It is our many people like you see mergers and acquisition or any potential investors or equity. They go under process to evaluate the worth of the company. It's a very difficult thing to understand the evaluation of the company. So the due diligence process is very difficult to understand. But friends, trust me, it's not even too difficult to understand. So it looks a little bit similar to audit, right? So what is the difference between audit and due diligence? So in audit, we give expression of opinion on the financial statements, whether it's true or fair. But in due diligence, they won't give an expression, they won't give an opinion. They directly find the issues which are in the company. They are not bothered about what is happening to the historical data. In audit, we find only the concern, only historical data. Yes, what information provided to us by client, we does. But in due diligence, it's not the matters, my dear friends. We have to consider forecasted financial statements as well before giving a due diligence report. And in audit, we go only for financial analysis. And in due diligence, we find analysis of financial statements, business plan, and sustainability of the business. So, as an investor, what we are going to do before investment? So, as we discussed, the due diligence is a process, and the scope and review period is based on the risk-taking ability of the investor. So, what is this risk-taking ability? So, where is it defined the risk-taking ability? What is that? So, what we can interpret for risk-taking ability? So, very big question of fact. So, we have to understand what the extent the client, the investor, can go for the investment. What is risk he has in the, if he going up, what are the consequences if he going for acquisition? What are the negative points you have to consider before going for acquisition? The reputation of the firm, the stakeholders' interest, the management concern, the government interpretation. So many several things which have to be considered while going the investment. So I find focus on most 4 critical issues on due diligence types. So one, commercial due diligence, where we find market analysis, the portfolio investment, the SWOT analysis in relation to business operations, in business to working capital management, and etc. And financial due diligence. So friends, my dear friends, I would like to emphasize on financial due diligence because most of them we are aware about finance, the accounting aspects. So what we do in financial due diligence? What we do? We analyze the critical issues in relation to compliance of accounting standards, compliance to auditing standards, or rules and regulations in relation to any other law that the company is applicable to follow. And next, moving further, I find tax due diligence. So what we generally do in tax audit is not the same in tax due diligence, my dear friends. Extremely different. So in tax due diligence, we find the tax outflows, the tax position of the organization, where we find AS22 describes taxes on income, where deferred tax assets, deferred tax liabilities are as per to financial terms. But in due diligence, it's not the same. We have to consider several financial positions, the tax positions of the organization, the tax payability, the liquidation, how the solvency of the firm, etc. has to be considered in the tax due diligence. So moving to legal due diligence. It's the most important thing for every corporate. The due diligence of legal will see compliance of rules and regulations to other laws or any other concern related to contracts, any obligations we have to pay, we are liable for anything. Those all to be considered in the financial due diligence and legal due diligence. Friends, let me understand too by an example of financial due diligence. So, once please carefully look at the figures. Standard profit and loss account. So, man, look at this thing. Now, view in the prospect of an auditor. What do you do? What do you find in this? What do you find? Only numbers, right? What do you find in that? Perfect. Okay, now we in the numbers also. We just see in auditing perspective what we does in audit. We see whether the general entries has been correctly done or not. Ledger balance has been correctly reflected the same ledger balance. The audit procedure will find general entry testings has been done, or any other control systems in case you go for corporate big entities, they maintain separate SAPs. They have used the same techniques of all the understand the ERP, ID controls, those are separating aspect again. So if auditing perspective we find this is the numbers. Now I will make you understand the analysis in terms of due diligence, what we do. So we'll take 2 scenarios. The analysis of gross profit margin. So this is sales, gross profit margin, right? So if in case in audit, we are not concerned with the percentage, we are concerned with numbers. So we see gradually it's a constant from 2010 to 12. Now in the 12 to 13, there was a decline of 4%. So as a consultant, as a due diligence, I am doing the due diligence. I am concerned for the 4%. Not with the numbers. So I will question the management. Why there is a 4%? So what is the reasons? I will discuss with the client. I want to know the reasons why the 4% decline. Is the part of the management, the target. You have to explain us. This is the reason, so and so reason, inflation or whatever reasons. This is the decline of the rate. So I will take you another second scenario. So analysis of direct cost. So friends, we find here, we go from bottom, okay. Overhead, it's a constant, 11%. If you go for material, 29%, it's a constant. And the important thing we find here, labor, 19% for first 2 years. Then decline of 1%, it's okay, so manageable in the business organization, 18 to increase 22%. So how it became 22 increase of 4% again there? There have to be interpretation. The consultant will get many questions. We are conducting due diligence only to find the issues, not to give an opinion. So we find it, what is the 4%? Whether the inflation, whether we have any productivity, new projects, whether there was any second aspect we find is any fraudulent. Error, and most of the things we don't find error. Most of the cases, we must focus on fraud. Why the fraud? The 4%, where did it come from again? We have to discuss with the client, the target, to obtain this discussion. What are the reasons for this declining? To understand that, we do due diligence. So friends, I will take you the process of due diligence, how it does. So first, the investor, the buyer who are going to fix for his target, and he finds who target, you want to invest in some company, so you'll find out what company you are going to invest. Here comes the target, and the investor appoints a person who investigate the due diligence thing, what required for or investor. The point is and consultant. And friends, I would like to tell one more point here. The investor, he can use the in-house resources as well. I am an example. If I am a frequent investor, I invest a lot I'm potential investor. So I can have my own organization, a separate department, small department on due diligence. I can have it. Or I can outsource the same to jobs who are specialized in due diligence. I can do that. And in the course of due diligence, the scope, the terms and conditions of the engagement and the period for which you have to conduct the due diligence will also be clearly specified to the consultant by the investor. And after getting the information, what the consultant will do, this is similar to our audit, what we do after appointed. We visit the client, right? We go to the client, we get the information. Now we visit the client, we get the information, and we are trying to get the issues in relation to our engagement, and we collect necessary information. So first thing, practical issues we get in terms of this stuff is, to get the information is only very difficult from the client. Sometimes the target may not be willing to express or give his documents for analysis. It's very difficult for a consultant to get the information if the information not provided by the target, and perform in-depth analysis and find potential issues. He has to do that and discuss with the target. I already told you, in case of just an example of 4% percentage, you have to discuss with the target, why is the reasons, what made you to go for this stuff, etc. And we have to get to that, and thereafter we have to give a due diligence report to the investor. Consultant gives report on to investor, and this investor, what he do, will find whether to invest or not. It's not discretion of the investor. It's not the problem of the consultant, or he just gives his report in relation to his engagement. That's it. And the ultimate thing he has to do is to invest or not is depend upon the investor. And my dear friends, the due diligence process. So friends, I would like to conclude. So carrying a due diligence quality exercise is avoid to the risk of bad acquisition. It's better to do an in-depth analysis before purchasing any company or acquiring or merger. And due diligence is a very practical subject, and thereby a very exclusive of changing the items mentioned in the checklist. And in addition, friends, I would like to tell, if you are a CEO now, you have got the report and you're done with all the investigation, you are ready to fix. But still we find the due diligence report is not a conclusive report. You have to use your management skills, you have to use your other aspects, what you have to consider in the course of investment. You have to find We have to find the reputation of the firm if you go for mergers and all. Thank you.